Usually, Italian verbs in their infinitive base form end in are, ere, or ire. But in Italian, we also have some verbs that can end in arre, orre, or urre. And today we are looking at 30 verbs that follow this irregularity. Iniziamo! Ciao e benvenuti! Sono Margherita, the host of Italian Grammar Made Easy. Today we are talking about verbs, specifically verbs that are irregular in their infinitive form. These verbs do not end in are, ere, or ire. Instead, they end in arre, orre, urre, with that double R. These verbs are considered part of the second conjugation because they are derived from Latin verbs that end in ere. For example, trarre ends in arre and comes from the Latin verb traere, which means to derive. Porre ends in orre and comes from the Latin verb ponere, to put. Even though verbs ending in arre, orre, and urre are irregular in their infinitive form, they do follow a pattern when conjugated. So, for example, for all the verbs ending in arre, we are going to take the infinitive, for example, trarre, to derive, we remove the arre, and we are left with tr. To that tr, we are going to add the appropriate endings. Io traggo, I derive. Tu trai, you derive. Lui, lei trae, he, she derives. Noi traiamo, we derive. Voi traete, you all derive. Loro traggono, they derive. So all these endings are going to be used with the verbs ending in arre. 10 common Italian verbs that end in arre are astrarre, to abstract, attrarre, to attract, contrarre, to contract, detrarre, to deduct, distrarre, to distract, estrarre, to extract, protrarre, to prolong, ritrarre, to depict, sottrarre, to subtract, and trarre, to derive. I know, we have a lot of R's here, but do not worry if you are not able to roll your R. A lot of Italians born and raised in Italy are not able to roll their R's as well, and they are still perfectly understood. For the verbs that end in orre, we are going to follow the same pattern. From the infinitive, we are going to remove the final 4 letters, orre, and then we add the appropriate endings. For example, the verb imporre, to impose, we remove orre and we are left with imp. To that imp, we are going to add the endings that are used with all the verbs that end in orre. Io impongo, I impose. Tu imponi, you impose. Lui, lei impone, he, she imposes. Noi imponiamo, we impose. Voi imponete, you all impose. Loro impongono, they impose. 10 common Italian verbs that end in orre are anteporre, to put before, comporre, to compose, deporre, to lay down, esporre, to display, imporre, to impose, opporre, to oppose, porre, to put, to place, riporre, to put, to place again, sovrapporre, to put, to place over, and trasporre, to transpose, to switch. Last, we have verbs that end in urre. Again, same exact structure. We remove urre from the infinitive and then we add the endings. Tradurre means to translate. We remove urre. We are left with trad. And to that we add the endings. These endings are going to be used for all the verbs that end in urre. Io traduco, I translate. Tu traduci, you translate. Lui, lei traduce, he, she translates. Noi traduciamo, we translate. Voi traducete, you all translate. Loro traducono, they translate. Examples of verbs ending in urre are condurre, to lead, dedurre, to deduce, indurre, to cause, introdurre, to introduce, to insert, produrre, to produce, ricondurre, to trace back, ridurre, to reduce, riprodurre, to reproduce, sedurre, to seduce, and tradurre, to translate. So these are 30 verbs in Italian that do not follow the usual arre, ere, ire conjugations. Instead, they are considered irregular also in their infinitive form because they end in arre, orre, and urre. You can download a summary with all these verbs, translations, and conjugations at italianmatters.com/54. And you can take a quiz at the same link. Grazie mille di aver imparato un po' di italiano con me oggi. Ci sentiamo di nuovo settimana prossima. Ciao!